it's been a while, but we're back, and indeed we are better than ever. We love our fans, and if someone took them away from us, we would definitely take it to the Supreme Court because y'all are worth a lot more than $75,000 to us.
Speaking of Supreme Courts.
Oh, KDE, you got me there.
Okay,
gosh.
Nicole. Let's talk about one of the biggest cases of 2015, Young versus United Postal Service. Pregnant Peggy Young was given orders from her doctors saying that she shouldn't be lifting heavy objects.
When Peggy approached UPS about adapting her workload, they not only didn't uphold her request, but even made her go on unpaid leave for the remaining duration of her pregnancy.
Are they kidding? Why they like this?
Peggy sued UPS under the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, which requires pregnant women to be treated no different than anyone else who is affected and needs accommodations.
Is this a constitutional right?
Girl, let me tell you. So this deals with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, specifically the amended portion, the Pregnancy Discrimination Act. Basically, what the act says is that you can't discriminate against a woman due to the fact that she's pregnant.
So the case started in a trial court like they all do, and Peggy later appealed the case to the Court of Appeals, where it was dismissed. Peggy would not give up, and the case was eventually brought to Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that it had to go back to the Court of Appeals, but before she could go to court again, UPS changed their policy to avoid more controversy.
Yeah, I respect that. It's 2017. We keep it real and right up in here.
Yeah,
Speaking
girl.
of rights, let's look at a civil rights case from 2014. So one of the hottest topics of the past couple of years has been about gay marriage.
In the case Obergefell v. Hodges, a group of states were not allowing same-sex marriages to occur within their state and were not recognizing same-sex marriages that took place outside of their state. Obviously, this angered some people that were married but lost all their marriage rights being in those states.
Sounds a lot like the 21st century version of Loving v. Virginia, which dealt with interracial marriage. Richard and Mildred Loving were an interracial couple back in the 1950s, and when they couldn't get married in the state of Virginia, they went to Washington, D.C. to get married. They went back to Virginia. When they returned, they were charged with violating the state's laws that banned interracial marriage. The Lovings were found guilty and sentenced to a year in jail. Crazy, right? But however, the trial judge agreed to suspend a sentence if the Lovings would leave Virginia and not come back for 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So they took this to Supreme Court, and in a unanimous decision, the court decided that it was unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment to not let a couple be married, and the states cannot infringe upon that right.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the Obergefell v. Hodges case, it became a constitutional issue dealing with the violation of the due process of the 14th Amendment. After this case was taken up by the Supreme Court, the court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage, and then it did violate the 14th Amendment to recognize same-sex marriage.
Wow, deja vu, man. History repeats itself. And speaking about how history repeats itself, America's favorite hot mess, Lindsay Lohan, who just can't seem to get her life together for anything.
Oh yeah, she is a piece of work.
Every day for this girl is a Freaky Friday.
Retweet.
Okay, so anyway, childhood star Lindsay Lohan, notorious for multiple DUIs and not caring about it. So Miss Lohan got all these DUIs but wouldn't go to her correctional classes. And even though she denies it, she's always expected special treatment from the justice system. So she just kept violating her probation like the mean girl she is. So fetch.
What a gal.
Well, the judge finally put her in her place and sentenced her to 90 days in jail, restoring some faith in the justice system for celebrities.
Childhood stars, let me tell you, from the time they're minors, they're just crazy.
Must be something about the red hair. Even minors who are not incredibly talented like Lindsay get in trouble. Cash Me Outside Girl was a pop culture icon for at least 2 weeks this year.
Such a good meme. Cash Me Outside, how about that?
Oh!
So this girl's name is Danielle Bergoli. She was sentenced to probation for grand theft, marijuana possession, and for filing a false police report against her mom. This case was tried in juvenile court, and because she's only 14, they're forcing more rehabilitation and less punishments in the juvenile court system.
Kids can really misbehave. Like, it's in our psychology to be rebellious. But I guess there's still hope for us. One of the biggest cases was on the execution of minors.
Even though by today's standards it's obvious we shouldn't be allowed to execute minors, the law needed to be updated and to have that clarified. In the case Roper v. Simmons in 2004 did that.
The verdict is that according to the Eighth Amendment, executing minors classifies as cruel and unusual punishment and is therefore unconstitutional. Guys, we're safe for about another year.
Yes.
R.I.P. Juvenile court, kids, parents, family. This is a great transition. So you thought your family was crazy, but get ready for the Desario family.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
So pretty much a man named Brian Desario killed his mom's friend because he was reportedly flirting with his imaginary girlfriend.
Ooh.
Desario was mentally disabled
Oh.
and later threatened to shoot in an elementary school, but was later killed in a shootout by the police.
Okay, big guy.
Florida has some crazy things going on down there.
What a state. A nice mix of old people and psychopaths.
Remember in class when we talked about school drug testing of student athletes? Well, we have a case about drug testing in a broader spectrum with adults.
In the case Birchfield v. North Dakota, the court discussed whether it was criminal or not for an individual to refuse to submit to a blood alcohol test in the absence of a warrant.
So the conclusion was that under the Fourth Amendment, you can do warrantless breath tests. However, you can't do warrantless blood tests.
The Fourth Amendment and warrants are a huge part of our justice system, but as evidenced by this case and others, there are a lot of legal questions on when a warrant is needed and when it's not.
In one case in Denver, the police broke into a house without a warrant in order to do a drug bust. Unfortunately for them, the drug dealers were not present.
Awkward.
Very. So these drug dealers had been in that house, but were evicted a month before the failed bust. The police entered the house of the Martinez family while they were watching TV.
The Denver police ended up paying about $3 million for their
Oh,
mistake
geez.
in legal fees and damages given to the shaken up family.
You need a warrant for everything these days.
Lightning pun round!
Dear fans, thank you for listening and voluntarily giving your time without a court-ordered subpoena. As always, I gotta ask, did you just commit burglary because you just walked in and stole my heart? I think you may have just committed the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress because I am crazy about you.
Oh no! You know what that means? Now you have the substantive defense of criminal insanity. Watch out, guys!
Oh, you got me there. Until next time, Bislaw Babes out.
Bye!